And good afternoon, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it is the Tom Chenault Show, and I hope you're all having a phenomenal day. We are massively pumped up this week, and the reason is because we've got a guest that you're going to love. Obviously, you heard Mark Cohen on here. He was great. You heard Eric Warre. He was great. We are just getting the best of the best on this show. I'm chasing down Ray Higdon. I'm chasing down Fraser Brooks. I'm chasing down Angel Fletcher. People that can really bring the rain are who I want on this show. And one of the people that I really love for a lot of reasons is Todd Falcone. I've known him for a very, very long time. Unbelievable family man. Moved his family from Arizona to Oregon in order to create a better life for his children and his wife. Everything about the guy exudes integrity. And not only that, he's funny. He is completely generic. He is able to walk into anybody's business, train like crazy, and go to the next city. Another thing I love about him is he puts all his money back into his business. This is not some guy making flyers on a mimeograph machine. I think they still have those, and coming to a meeting. He is set up. He produces. He really, really takes this business seriously. He and I have had numerous discussions about how hard it is to start an outside sales motivation training company. This guy is one of the few people that have done it. With that, how are you, Todd Falcone? Doing all right, buddy?
Tom, I'm doing fantastic. Great to be with you. How are you?
I've never, ever been better. I'm jealous of your lifestyle with all those fish and the river rafting and the mountains and your happy life and your happy wife. How's the move treating you?
I could not be happier, brother. This is our place. Fishing, skiing, mountain biking, hiking. Just joined the golf club. I live on a golf course. Took me just over a year to finally pull the trigger and start playing golf again. So excited to be in the outdoors and enjoying the Pacific Northwest.
And tell me about the economy there. You know, Garrett McGrath just moved up that way too. Is it because of the climate? Is it because of the caliber of people? Why are all you people moving from Beverly Hills up to Oregon? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I moved from Scottsdale, which is
really
the hot fire Beverly Hills. But I mean, I think everybody comes to this place for the same reason, because they have a love of the outdoors. That's why you come to where I live in Oregon. And I know that Garrett moved to the coast, for other reasons, also for the outdoors and for the great weather. But I mean, if you're into the outdoors, then this is a great place. And I just wasn't getting the things that I was looking for my family living in Scottsdale. So we made the relocation, and we are loving every second of it.
And as you're doing that, and as you're loving your life, you are able to contain yourself, but you can still how far away from a big airport are you? Can you still travel the world and train the network marketers all over the planet, or are you still chasing it that hard like that?
Well, I've been here for about 18 months. I've flown out of the local airport here 32 times. And it's 30 minutes from my house. If I have a 6 a.m. flight, I could literally leave my house at 5 a.m. and be walking in. And I mean, it's a very convenient airport. It's a small airport. I've got to hop over to San Francisco or Denver every time, but I get to live here, so I'm happy.
I'm looking at all our old friends watching this show, man. It's unbelievable. We got Tony Canuli, and we got Jeff Sokol, and Matt Jameson, Sean Murphy. I mean, people that are like
I love
legends.
it.
I know it, and it's just begun. And, I know there's a million reasons they're watching the show, but one of the things we're going to talk about in a few minutes, probably in the second segment, is your good friend Mark Hoverson and the passing of him and the impact he made. Just a little quick intro. You guys were dear friends, huh?
Yeah, I actually met Mark, I think in like 1998. He was actually in my organization, sponsored by this woman in Montana. I remember this mellow, soft-spoken, relaxed, super chill dude that was part of my team. And that's where we first connected. And I've known him for a long time, and his passing was very, very sad. And you can tell how loved he was by the amount of presence on social media that we've seen in the last few days.
They have raised over $300,000 for this guy's medical expenses, which must have been absolutely monstrous, and it's still not enough. We're going to put the GoFundMe. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And it's a tribute to the human being this guy was, the human being his wife is, and his family is. And as you guys watch this show afterward, please take a real hard thought about going out there and giving this guy a couple of bucks. It can't hurt. And man, what a battle. And just watching from Eric Warray to you, to Aaron Raskin, to Jason Cardamone, it went across, Lisa Grossman, people loving this guy. You can go back to that in a little while. I want to talk about you. So, Fearless Networker, what the hell is it? And before we even go there, I need to ask you a straight question. And this is like Bible time, right? So look at that Bible right below my hands. Are you actively building in any other company anywhere on this planet, either in your name or in your wife's name, in your dog's name, in your kids' names?
Absolutely not. I don't have the time for it. My focus is 100% speaking, teaching, and training, has been for about 14 years now. It's funny because I get accused of being in companies that I haven't even spoken for. Most of the time I'm getting my picture taken with somebody at some event. And they're like, oh, Todd must be building that deal. So no, 100% not building anything. You can't be in my space and be active in building a company. It just doesn't work.
Say that one more time.
You can't be doing what I do, independently speaking and training, and be in the field. It just does not work. Does not work.
Okay, I would like to say some names right now to some people that, no, I'm not going to do it. You know that. But poor Todd thought he was going to be in the popcorn popper right now. No, I'm not going to throw you in the popcorn
I know
popper.
you. I was wondering.
But it's just so aggravating, and it makes me so dang mad because I am telling you, you are taking a position of unbelievable responsibility. When I tell my people to not take $500 and watch me train, but to take $500 or $400, $300, $200, $150, $10, whatever you charge, and go spend that with Todd Falcone, I am doing that knowing 100% that my people are safe with you. And I love you for the fact that I called you on the phone and I said to you, I'm asking you this question every way to Tuesday so you can't duck. Are you in another company in any way, shape, or form building? And you said no. And I love you for that answer, Todd. I knew the answer, but you saying it on the radio gives a lot of big leaders like I supposedly am because we're scared to death that we're going to lose our people to, somebody walking in the door and doing some goofy deal. Now, having said that, there's another.
You should be protective.
Yeah,
you should absolutely be protective of your organization.
There's another. Guy.
I mean, I totally get it. So yeah, just no, 100% not. Now here I will say this: I consume products and services from many.
Sure, you do.
Direct selling and network marketing companies. And honestly, I think anybody in this profession that's truly a network marketing professional should be supportive of the profession, because whatever products in many cases your company is offering, there's other stuff that they don't offer that you need to use in your household or for your life. And anytime I can buy from a direct sales company, I absolutely do it.
And that's me too. I buy product from other network marketing companies all the time. I prefer it. Casey Eberhardt, I mean, that poor guy's on like 700 auto ships. So I agree with all of that. Thank you. Okay, now let's talk about the Fearless Networker, because I want to make sure people understand the caliber of training that you do. So get into that a little bit. What is it? What sets you apart from the? Actually, there's only like 5 trainers in your category. So what sets you apart from those 5 guys and the 5,000 wannabe Todd Falcone, Eric Warrays, people like that?
Yeah. Well, the Fearless Networker is a brand that developed over time. And really, it was me. It was the guy that went from, scaredy cat, nervous wreck who couldn't sponsor somebody to save my life to being completely confident in myself and my ability to get stuff done. And it was kind of an accident how that happened. But the Fearless Networker today is not me. It's everyone who wants to be that Fearless Networker. And that brand has done really well for us as a company. But how am I different? I mean, I've spent almost 30 years in the network marketing profession, and I've built in the field. There are people that are teaching and training in network marketing that have never built anything. And I think there's no way that that if I'm standing on the platform or the virtual platform or something like this and actually doing a training event, that you could be in the audience, go, that guy didn't build. I mean, there's just the kind of language of things that you would be saying, the experiences, the stories that you share. I know what it's like to be in the field and be frustrated. I started at the age of 22. I was a stuttering, sweaty, nervous wreck. I was scared to death. I was intimidated by everybody because everybody was older than me. And I thought also, if why would anybody listen to me? I'm just this young kid that worked at Jack in the Box, McDonald's, and parked cars at Kelly's restaurant. And I went through the journey and, figured out how to make money in this business, figured out how to develop self-confidence, figured out how to be good at prospecting and team building. And I will say this, because people ask me, well, why are you speaking and not building? That's a legitimate question. I don't know if you're planning on asking, but I'm going to answer it without you even asking. I didn't plan on doing what I'm doing.
We bickered on this morning. We literally
Sure. I didn't. Yeah. I spent 11 years. The last company I built, I spent 11 years with them. I was doing really well. I was playing golf 4 or 5 days a week. I was surfing almost every day of the week that there was waves. I had the lifestyle. Things were good. And then one day the check disappeared. And when the check disappeared over a period of about 12 to 14 months, I went through about $80,000 in investments and savings, figuring out what I was going to do. And somebody had asked me, he said, hey, will you come and speak at one of my events? And I was like, what the heck do you want me to talk about? He's like, dude, just come and talk about prospecting, recruiting, how you build your business. I was like, okay, fine. So I did. And I was well received in that room. And then somebody else asked me to do a conference call and then another event. And then I never planned on being a speaker. I get people ask me all the time, how do I be a speaker? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I was asked to be a speaker and I never intended on doing this as a business, but I was well received. People like the message. I'm very straightforward. You've seen me speak and train a bunch of times. I just throw it out. That's one of the reasons why you and I get along so well, because we just tell it like it is. And I think that's something else that people love to hear. They don't want to be BS. They want somebody to tell me the truth, tell me what I've got to do. That's what I wanted when I started in this business. And I got to pay it forward.
There's no doubt about it. And, you built a brand and you built an expensive brand. It cost you a lot of money. And you're still spending a lot of money to protect this brand. And I am telling people, this guy takes this business so seriously. It's unbelievable. And that's the kind of person that you want to help train you. I see Fraser Brooks on here. He just told me he's in Germany and he's willing to come on the show too, even though it's late in London and late in Germany. The people like this that are teaching this profession and have chosen to teach it because they've been successful at it and chose to teach it are completely different from the people that failed at it and decided to take a crack at it. So commercials on this show are very, very, very different. We've got to take a break. And the reason we're taking the break is because we're on Genesis Communications Network. Ted Anderson is the guy. We're on the same network as Mary Lou Hanner and actually Alex Jones, who's a little controversial right now, and a lot of people. So we're going to take a hard break because we're on their network, but we're really not going on commercial. So if you're watching this, don't go anywhere because the fun starts right now. We're going to act like we're going out for a commercial right now, but we're really not. We're going to have some fun. So stick around. We will be right back.
Hi, Todd.
We're back. Hello, Todd.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Hello, Adrian. I'm good. You?
Doing great. It's good to see you.
Yeah, we had a nice little chat earlier doing our little microphone test.
Yeah, so this is the contact mapping app part, where we're going to talk about that a little bit. Todd earlier said, no, Tom, I don't need contact mapping. I've got it in the Fearless Networker. And you are correct. You have an unbelievable contact manager in the Fearless Networker. And those of you that want to join the Fearless Networker, I want you to go do that. And I want you to use that contact app in the Fearless Networker for your Fearless Networker work. But Todd, let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, please do.
Wait, so you guys just moved to your new neighborhood, right? Up there in Millionaire Acres on the golf course.
18 months ago.
Yeah. Okay, so here you are there, and you've got all the neighbors, and they've all got children, they've all got cars, they've all got houses. Very few of them are ever going to go to a Todd Falcone Fearless Networker training seminar. Have you got an app that's going to take a picture of every one of those people, that's going to have the absolute details of their life, that is going to remind you of everybody everybody that you've ever met that you can absolutely Google your own database to say, oh man, those are the people that have a Tesla roof on their house, or they got a Tesla in the garage, or in your case, they've got a great fly fishing shop. And you wrote that down, and you're driving down the road with your wife, and you're saying, honey, what was the name of that fly fishing shop? And your wife goes, oh, I don't know. That guy that lives in the neighborhood said something about it. And you just hit fly fishing shop in your phone, and all of a sudden his picture, his name, and the name of the fly fishing shop popped up. Wouldn't that be better than just trying to get all your friends to go into the Fearless Networker CRM?
Oh, there's no question. In fact, I just went to a house party this last week, and I drove by the guy's house this morning, and I'm like, what the heck was that guy's name? What's his wife's name? His name's Bill, and his wife was really quiet, and I cannot remember her name.
There we go.
And no, I get it. That represents high value to me, because here's the thing as well. One of the reasons I've always been a note taker, and I know you're this guy as well, you take rabid notes on people, you know everything about everybody, and now you've got a place to save it in that app, which Adrian's going to send me the link so I can start using it immediately, right?
You always look for that yellow sticky, or it's in your Excel spreadsheet, or you wrote it on your palm and accidentally took a shower. However you did it. Yeah, you guys, during the break, when we're coming back right now, get out of here. Oh, wait, we got a minute more.
Yeah, we got another minute.
During the break, go to contactmapping.com. But I am telling everybody, you want to become a better human being. And I have always been a rabid note taker. I am a massive follow-upper. You people know this. If you want me, I follow up. I thought I was good until and this little whippersnapper built the app. And he makes me use it every day. Probably I wouldn't have used it because I was so ADD. And I am telling you one thing right now. I am now a 10 on a scale of 10 follow-up wise. And I thought I was perfect at it, and I was about a 6, I think, before the app. So what do you want to say during this commercial?
Yeah, in the last 15 seconds, I want to say that your choices are either write it on your hand but never take a shower, or go to contactmapping.com.
That's exactly right. Because that's your only two choices.
Those are your only two choices.
And Adrian is a rock star. He's really, really strong on the financial side, and his partner in this thing has a doctorate from MIT. So these two kids are building the security that you need, building a platform that you need, and you want to take a look at it. It's going to be the wave of the future. We're coming back right now, so everybody hold your breath for like 5 seconds. And we're back. It is the Tom Chenault Show, and we are here with Todd Falcone, and we're having an unbelievably great time. He's talking about the Fearless Networker, and this is a pretty short segment. I want to know, Todd, who's the perfect candidate for your training and your coaching and everything that you do? Who's that person?
Somebody who's hungry to figure the game out.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. Somebody who really wants to understand how to do what we do in the business. That's the perfect candidate.
No doubt about it. So if you're, no matter whether, and a guy like me, I went to your seminar in Denver several years ago, 3-4 years ago, and I was making some dough. I was still a pretty hotshot network marketer back then, and I learned a tremendous amount. So your training goes across the spectrum, right?
I teach on everything from warm market prospecting, cold market leads, recruiting professionals, social media recruiting, team building, leadership, longevity, accountability, asset and wealth accumulation, anything that involves being successful and running a successful home-based business in network marketing. That's what we teach.
Do you try to teach them that it's going to take a long time and it's going to be hard work? Or are you trying to teach these people to dance around and do like half these crypto deals and half these other deals where they're supposedly going to make all this money? Just makes me crazy. It's impossible, isn't it?
I was waiting for you to pull the crypto thing out. I'm not going to go down that road, but no, look, here's the deal. In my bluntness in how I teach, I tell the truth. Let's not BS people and say you can sit here and twiddle your thumbs. You're going to make a bunch of money. Yeah, it's hard work, and it's going to take you a while, and it's probably going to take you longer than you anticipate. And if we create the right kind of expectations with people and we teach them, we arm them, and we make them strong, then they can weather whatever storm comes their way. And I can promise you, storms will come your way. And there will be days when you question your sanity and whether you should be in this profession or not. I've had people call me up, oh my gosh, Todd, how have you lasted so long in this profession? I'm like, I don't know, because I understand it and I get it. And I know it's the journey that we're on, that the final destination or wherever we're going, it's well worth whatever struggles that we encounter along the way.
I think you might be the only guy I've ever met. It's been a long time, and it reminds me of my stock brokerage days. That is a world-class paper shredder you've got there. What are you doing with paper? What documents are you needing to shred? This is very troubling.
Come on now.
Why are you shredding documents and growing a beard and have a hat on? I am telling you what, I feel like I talk under you.
I have a fax machine over here, too.
A fax machine.
I have a fax machine right here to my left.
Unbelievable. That is so awesome.
All sorts of technology, the low tech, the high tech. I actually, by the way, I sent a fax today. Here's the thing. You could bring that up and we could all giggle about it. And I know you're making a joke out about it, but absolutely I shred my documents. And absolutely I'm a business owner. I have a reason to send a fax or receive a fax. There's so many people, I don't use faxes. I'm like, I have a dedicated fax line in my office. Do I have to pay more than the average person does? Yep, whatever, $10 a month. But I sent a fax this morning to my insurance agent.
Okay, good. I feel chastised.
I love you, man.
Completely chastised. Okay, so.
No, I love it. That's a valid question.
Okay, so whenever in network marketing, they always tell me to have an IRS tax file, and I have to have all these files and all that stuff. When you train, you tell them they have to have a shredder and a fax machine and all that stuff too, or can they bypass that to hit the top of the mountain?
Dude, there's my awesome. 2018 tax box, or one of them.
You are my idol. I'm telling you, that's the truth. You guys, this is an old school network marketing.
Organized.
I agree with that. And let's talk about that for a second, since I mocked you. You are an old school network marketer doing new school things to stay relevant, just like Fraser Brooks, just like Angel Fletcher, just like these people. Jordan Adler, right after he told me he bought a helicopter, also told me that he has learned so much over the last couple of months from Fraser Brooks and Amber Voigt and all these people about social media that his business is literally exploding because he's taken old technology and merging it with new. And that's what I'm trying to urge people to do. Don't throw away the old, just get better at the new. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think some people misunderstand old school. Old school, sometimes I think people actually mean it. They try to make it mean this. Oh, old school is dead. It doesn't work. It's passe. It's a thing of the past. Old school to me is fundamental. It's foundational. It's what works. And then, yeah, of course, look, you and I have both been around the network marketing profession for long enough to know things change. I remember fax on demand, voice on demand. We would have a mail out a cassette tape or mail out a VHS tape, or before that was even around, or when I had to have a pager and a roll of quarters and have to go to a payphone. You know, one thing for sure, especially for guys like you and I that have been around for a long time, we have to embrace the change. And that's something even a new person you have to do. One thing, like, nobody likes change for the most part, but you better embrace it because it's going to happen.
Amen. We got to take a fast break. So we're going to come back right after this. This is the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network. Stick around. We really love you having on the show. We'll be back right after this. And we're back, Todd. That didn't take long. Don't you love the breaks?
What's up, Tom?
Fun? The breaks are 10 times more fun.
I do, and I love it when you're like so much fun because you just tell it like it is. Call it. Talk about my shredder in the background, my tax box, my fax machine. What other old school crap I got in here? I don't know what I got.
Well,
I got lava. Are you going to talk about my lava lamps?
Yeah, I know it, and I love the Beatles album in the back, and that Pet Rock is my favorite. I don't know where you got that green Pet Rock, but that thing's cool too. So, yeah, you're the man.
Green Pet Rock.
There's a green luminescence.
That's two lava lamps, and that's Bob Marley. That's Bob Marley, not the Beatles.
Really? Who's Bob Marley?
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Who is Bob Marley?
Yeah.
I'm not going to entertain that one.
Todd.
I love you, man.
34 years.
How do you deal with that?
It's you don't want it. It's been rough, let me tell you.
One time I bought
he's a great guy, man. I love your dad.
I listened to no music. One time I bought
You did?
In 1983 I bought a brand new Porsche. And I had my friend drive around with me for a whole day. And I said, how do you like my car? He goes, I really like it. And I go, how'd you like the radio? He goes, it's a really nice radio, but you must really love that song. And I said, why is that? And he said, because it was like on all the time. And I go, what are you talking about? And apparently I had it on repeat, but since I don't listen to music, I had listened to that same song since the day I bought the car. That's how much I listen to music. I don't listen to it. I listen to me. I listen to this little stereo going on in between my ears called He Loves Me, He Hates Me, He Doesn't Like Me. He thinks I'm a jerk. I'm sitting here having a concert with you right now. Todd thinks I'm fat. Todd thinks I'm this. Todd thinks I'm that. It's horrible. Kind of like contact.
Oh my gosh, to be in your brain for a day.
It might get loud in there. I would just venture a guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's Jeff Sokol. Moved back to Longmont from Tennessee. What are you doing there anyway? So talk to me about contact mapping, Adrian. So really, what's the premise behind it?
Yeah, so we joked about the old school tricks with new school technology, but really that's what contact mapping is about. It's about taking the way that guys like you, Todd, and guys like you, Dad, have been around this industry for many, many years and learned how to build relationships the right way, to build them from scratch, from the ground up, and it's about being interested in the other person instead of being interested in just what's in it for you. And it's about figuring out what's the place that you can speak into who they are, what they're looking to achieve, and figuring out if there's an overlap with what it is that you do. And so the app, all it does is gives you this place where instead of having those notes spread all over the place, you walk out of that conversation, you pick up your phone, you use your voice to transcribe notes about everybody that you're meeting that says this is what their spouse's name is, this is what their kids' names are, this is what's coming up that's important for them, this is what they care about. And then as soon as you finish doing that, it immediately prompts you, when are you going to follow up with this person? And the options are in a day, in a week, in a month, in 3 months. The options are not never. And the whole idea is that everybody deserves a touch point at some point in the future. And all we've got to do is, we all intend to do that, especially if you're in this business. You know, if you're in network marketing, if you're in real estate, if you're a financial advisor, you always intend to follow up. But that intention so often doesn't get followed through the way we mean to, because we just don't get a chance to put it in the tool. We don't get a chance to do this or that. And so what we've tried to do is just make it so easy and automatic for you that you can't help but do it. And then all of a sudden you've got this database where that fly fishing shop comes up, or who was the quiet wife of that neighbor that I met at the block party, and you're able to just pull that up in an instant because it's all there, and you're not in the back of your head trying to rack your brain and feeling like you're not able to participate in the conversation because you're so busy trying to remember the thing you were supposed to remember from last time.
I go in a coffee shop every day, and the owner of the coffee shop constantly looks at me and says, who's that guy? The customer. And so this guy this morning, he's from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. He's a lawyer, good-looking guy. I snapped a picture of him. I threw him in my database. I looked at him. She didn't have any idea what his name was. I said it has something to do with Indians. So I put Indian. About 18 things came up with Indian, and then I thought he's a lawyer. So I put lawyer, and there he was with his picture, and I had him, and I said, that's who it is. And she about swallowed her cigar. But if she would do that with every customer, she'd have it made in the shade. So we're going back on the air right now, contactmapping.com. Thanks, Adrian. You get one more break unless you want to bring your father-in-law in, the great John Collins, to talk about the Snowball Express. Okay, be quiet. Hold your breath. 5 seconds, everybody. All right, we're back. It's Todd Falcone, man. Talk about Todd Falcone and the man, thefearlessnetworker.com. And he is the guy you want to go to for training. I mean, he does unbelievable trainings. I had all his, what do they used to call them? The things that went in the tape machines, not CDs. What are the little things?
Audio CDs?
Yeah, those things.
CDs.
I am really not doing so well. And then, so I had all those things, Todd, and then you sent me the CDs on how to recruit up real estate agents, people like that. I swear I listened to those forever in the old days. And now you're doing webinars all the time and doing all this great stuff. And it's an ongoing thing with you. Not only are you training people, you're training organizations, and you're literally training companies to become better, more real, more related network marketers, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. And as you do that, somebody joining, are they going to go bankrupt, or can they afford to do this, Todd? How much? One of the things that, Eric wrote a really nice post a couple of days ago because he's not getting any kind of fee. He's not getting any kind of recognition on Facebook, Eric Warre, because he's got like 1 million people that follow him and only 13,000 or some crazy number actually see his posts. So he started doing a little bit more in Facebook Messenger, and people are screaming at him because they think he's always asking for money now, but he's really not. And underneath it all, it's hard to, as a network marketer, to think somebody, you're always spending money other places. You don't charge a lot of dough for what you do you?
I don't know what you would consider a lot of dough. I think I'm pretty affordable. But I also don't give myself away. I mean, you got to attach a value to whatever you're putting out in the marketplace. Otherwise people won't really pay attention to it. You brought up the Eric thing, for example. He's posting all the time. I'm connected with him on social media on his business page, and it's crazy how much time we spend building a following. I calculated the other day that my average post gets 0.03% of the people that actually see it unless I pay for it. But that's business. You got to be prepared for that. But he's putting out value all the time, but using that ManyChat messenger service, which is really powerful. A lot of times people do, I think, maybe misconstrue because that's the only thing that they're unfortunately seeing because Facebook's changed the rules. And, you mentioned Fraser Brooks a couple times. That dude's a stud. When we did the social media training at Eric Worre's house a few months ago, I was in there taking notes. That guy is an absolute beast when it comes to produce. He gets so many people following him on. It's unbelievable. So I'll definitely look forward to hearing him on your show when you do that.
Yeah, we'll have him. And you're coming back. You'll be on this show again Saturday on all the radio networks. So 550 stations will pick you up Saturday. You're going to get a lot of exposure out of this. And that can't hurt you in the slightest. So can we talk about your friend just a little bit, just what you thought of him, who he was, Mark Hoverson, and why it's just absolutely brought this profession to its knees. I didn't know this guy, but I am telling you, I am in awe of him because so many people loved him. It's like you, Todd. They love you. Don't get sick, because I'm telling you, the world is weeping for this guy. Who was he?
Mark was just a gentle, amazing, brilliant human being, great father, great husband. Always talked about his wife. I remember meeting him in person the first time. I don't even know. This is probably, I don't know, a long time ago, 2002 or something like that. And, he always talked about his wife and always talked about his children. And it's just so sad. I mean, 4 beautiful kids. And he just gave so much to the profession. Here's a guy that came in. I remember when I met him, he was had never been involved in network marketing, was literally at that point in his life on food stamps. He wasn't afraid to admit it, struggling to figure it out, left the business for a while, came back. And he came back at a time when YouTube was kind of first starting out. And he was so smart in utilizing YouTube as an attraction marketing methodology and just absolutely just dominated. And then he had some just amazing other training programs that he brought out in the marketplace. One of the coolest things about Mark is his love for young entrepreneurs. And he created this whole crew of people, this following of young entrepreneurs, like kids in 16 to maybe 22 or something like that had a passion to be self-employed and do something big in their life. And he ran that for a number of years. And I mean, talk about a fighter. Here's the other thing about he had the same cancer that Steve Jobs had, and for 4 years struggled with it. And he last couple of years did not look good, but he stayed producing these. My wife would lay in bed. My wife and I would lay in bed in the morning, and Facebook Live would come on, and we stopped everything we were doing, and we're watching him. And he was a God-loving man as well. And I know he's shining down on us today. And he was such a cool dude, so gentle. It's just a big lot. I mean, you can tell the impact that he made by the presence on social media that we're seeing. It's like my newsfeed the last few days has been all Mark Hoverson. And it took me, I couldn't even post on it the first 30 hours because I was I knew it was coming, but I had a really hard time allowing it to sink in. And then I put a post about it a day and a half after he passed. And loved man. And I know he's out of pain and he's in a great place looking down on us right now.
Well, it's up to you to carry on his tradition and his message and his integrity and his family. I listened to Aaron Raskin had him playing a guitar, a love song to his wife a couple of days ago, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I want to be like that guy when I grow up. I want to go out like that guy when I go out, where a lot of people feel like I did something good for them. That's what I want. And I think what's so beautiful about this profession is you actually have a shot at creating a legacy like that. So every one of you get that like in the back of your mind. This business isn't about the money. I got in it for the money. I made a little bit. And today it's all about service and contribution. And you should be the same way, just like my man, the Fearless Networker. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you, Todd, personally? TheFearlessNetworker.com, or send you an email, or track you down on Facebook, or come up to Oregon and ring your doorbell? What do we do?
You could do all of the above. I mean, my main website, thefearlessnetworker.com, takes you right over to my site, which is toddfalcone.com. You can send me an email, support@toddfalcone.com. My assistant grabs that. And if you want to reach out to me personally, you can certainly do that. And love being connected with people. I mean, this is a people business. Like, one thing that, when you're talking about the commercials for contact mapping, it's so fascinating because I know you're on top. You've always been that guy that knows stuff, but now that you've got that app that other people can use, I think that people need to pay more attention to that whole idea of what do others want? And Adrian even used that, and something I talk about on almost every stage I speak on, be genuinely interested in others, not interesting, which comes out of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Most of the time people want to just tell. Let me tell you what I'm all about, what I'm doing. And we need to slow down and care about other people. And I know you're that guy, and you always have been. And I appreciate that about you.
Bill Clinton everybody talks about Bill Clinton going to Oxford University and being so smart. He said the reason he got elected governor of the state of Arkansas had nothing to do with his intellect. Every business card he ever had, he wrote down the names of the children, the dog's name, everything he could on every business card. And he had literally a Dewey Decimal System to be able to pull that up at any time on anybody he'd ever met. And I picked up that trait in 1971. And I've been doing that through every career of mine. And as a result, I have been pretty much unable to be fired because I knew so many people. And today in network marketing and in life, who do you know? I know a guy, and I get a lot of calls because I know a guy. And that's the story of my life. That's the story of your life, Todd. And that's what's beautiful about you, because when you show up in a room, your heart got there about 30 seconds earlier. People feel your heart before you even walk in the door. And that's how I want to be when I grow up. And I just want to thank you for that. You smile. You're not afraid to tell one on yourself. You've got your little costume guy, Bucky, or whatever his name is. Everything about you is so disarming that people automatically love you to death. And that's been your secret weapon, hasn't it?
Relationships has been my secret weapon for sure. I mean, just staying connected with people and being nice to people and remembering things. And I mean, just for lack of a better word, just being cool to people. People like someone that's a pleasure to be around, that's fun to be around, that doesn't gripe and moan and bitch about stuff and complain. And when you leave them feeling better. You're going to always be in a winning situation.
Absolutely right. So talk about I want to go back to the Fearless Networker and what you can do for people for a second, because I believe people ought to plug in with Todd Falcone. He's on my short list, and believe me, that list is extremely short of people that you can trust your people with. And the trouble with, and I'm a great place to visit. You don't want to live here. I tell everybody that. I'm pretty good at knocking the door down, but I'm not that good at, people don't exactly invite me to stick around for dinner. But Todd's the guy you have stay for dinner, because he knows how to train you from A to Z. He's going to help you master this business inside of your business so you can be better at it no matter what stage you are in. Is that correct, Todd?
Yeah, whether you're a beginner and just trying to figure out how to do it, or you've been around and trying to figure out how to take it to the next level. I've coached a lot of people that have been around the business for a long period of time, or somebody who's made a whole bunch of money really, really fast, which does happen sometimes. We don't make those promises, obviously, but that happens, and they don't even know what they're doing yet. So, look, Tom, you could be doing the same thing that I'm doing. You have so many years of network marketing experience, and we talked about this before the show. This is just what I do now. I was meant to do this. I didn't ask for it. This is what I do. I pulled myself out of being an independent distributor. Being an independent distributor is hard work, but the benefits of getting it right when you do get it right is pretty amazing. And honestly, I feel pretty darn rewarded being able to do what I do as a speaker and a trainer, helping someone who's brand new, figure it out, develop that confidence, somebody who's struggling with, oh my gosh, my company made changes. What am I going to do? Should I bail out? Should I stay? Somebody who's like, holy smokes, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. I made so much money. What am I going to do with all this money? I haven't even filed taxes yet. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's figure that stuff out. To me, it's fun to take the experience that I have and give it to somebody else. That's all I'm really doing. And I enjoy it.
And you humanize relationships. There's a woman named Chantel who's a dear friend of ours that just commented the first time she met you at some place called Real. I don't even know what Real is. You took the time to look her in the eye and make her feel like a human being, which made her feel extremely special. And in this business, network marketing is hard work. You're not getting paid any money. And those connections are the most important part, especially at the beginning until you have some evidence that this works. So Todd Falcone, go to right there during the break that we're not going to have, but after the show, actually, during the break, if you're listening on the radio, what I want you to do is go to thefearlessnetworker.com. I want you to learn it inside and out. Sign up for all the free stuff. But on top of that, make sure that you get involved with him. He's one of the good guys. We're going to come back right after this. This is the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network. And we're back. I love the commercials here. They are so fun. Real Savvy Success, that was called.
I love your self.
What now? You love what?
Wait, what? What were you saying?
You started to say I love you, and then so I had to stop and listen because you've never said that before.
I do. I just wanted to say how much I love you. No, okay. I love the self-deprecating humor, dude. You crack me up. I love it.
It's the only way to go, man. The fastest way to get related is to tell one on yourself. And people don't get, everybody thinks that you have to, we don't like smart people, and we don't like hip, slick, and cool people, truth be known. Because we're all just mudding through it all the time, trying to figure out a way to just get a little bit ahead. And, my people, I'm a daily AA guy. So I live my life with those people. That's where I'm the most comfortable, and I try to get that across in network marketing because it's basically the same thing. A bunch of people who are ordinary trying to have extraordinary lives. And you've been good at that, Todd. That's what you teach and train. Correct? I hope?
Yeah. Just a normal dude that wanted to be successful in life and worked hard at it.
Yeah. And I don't care what kind of line of work you're in, whether you're in the insurance business, if you're selling insurance. Understanding the human relationship is the most important part, right, Adrian? You talk about humanizing your address book. And I told Todd earlier, I think it went right over his head because he didn't comment. I think he didn't understand. But I told Todd the best thing that Todd likes about me is what I remember about him. That's what he likes best about me. That's that simple. And that's what, I love your smile, Todd. I'm watching you on the side monitor. But that's the truth. And that's kind of what we're trying to do is get people to be more related, right?
Yeah. And, you go back to telling one on yourself, right? People, we want to do business with humans. We don't want to do business with companies. We don't want to do businesses with organizations. We want, people buy from people. People recruit people. And so getting yourself into your true human skin and out of this buttoned up, I've got it all together, I'm projecting this or I'm projecting that, and just being who you are and being a little messy because we're all a little bit messy, it gives them permission to relax and not feel like they have to be something that they're not. It lets them relax and see that they could do it themselves because they're not trying to model after some person who supposedly is perfect even though they're really not. And so that whole motion is so important. And then showing people that you care about them, showing people that you care about them by remembering, showing people that you care about them by following through and doing what you said you were going to do, which is that you said, I'm going to call you in a few days or I'm going to think about that and see if I can help you. And actually doing that if you actually follow through and say and do what you said you were going to do, that most people, it's just this little, platitude that's, oh, we should get coffee, or let me see if I could think of something that might help you. If you actually do it, you're already ahead of 95% of the people out there. And then you get good at it and you're in the 1% by far.
So the kid from MIT that's going to work with him as a partner, he hasn't come yet. He is 36 years old, got his undergraduate at MIT and his doctorate at MIT. And he was working somewhere else. And he came aboard and walked in the door and said, I want to do this contact mapping thing. And we were pumped up about that. And at the end of the day, the reason we were so excited was because he said it wasn't about business. It's about all of us being massively better human beings. And that's all it is. So please be better human beings. Now, right now, hold your breath for 5 seconds. And we're back. That was only 4 seconds. I only made you hold your breaths for 4 seconds. It's the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you so much, Ted Anderson, for allowing us to be on your great network with Mary Lou Henner and the rest of your incredible hosts. And we've got the final segment going on here with Todd, the fearless networker Falcone, who in my book is one of the top. And if you haven't looked at his website by now, you have made a big mistake, because this guy is a complete and total rock star. So Todd, we've only got about 5 minutes left. Give me 1 minute why you are different from everybody else and why you're better. And don't play humble here.
Why am I different and why am I better? I mean, I think I kind of talked about that a little earlier. Just, the fact that I've been in the field, I understand from personal experience what people are going through. So there's a relatability to it. I truly do care about helping someone create results. And I think even based on some of the commercials that have gone on during the show, we're talking about contact mapping and connecting and caring more and reaching out. And if you say, like Adrian was saying, if you say you're going to do something, do it. I mean, these are simple things that we would maybe think are common sense for people, but they're not. They're common sense to maybe somebody like you and I. We're like, well, everybody probably does that. But the reality is that they don't. And getting ahead in life, whether it's in network marketing or insurance sales or anything, real estate, whatever you're doing, it's all based on the relationship and how those people feel about you. Are you a person that over delivers, or do you always say something and then you never do it? Do you constantly under deliver? Do you do you wow people with, surprises and reaching out to somebody? Like, you sent me a book, which my wife is reading right now, Giftology. And when you sent me that book, I was like, what a great surprise. Holy smokes. It wasn't, oh, by the way, Todd, I want to sell you something. It was, hey, I think you're going to really enjoy this. And that book is an unbelievable read. My wife's reading it. She's digging it. I've actually, because of you, I've turned it on to a lot of people. And those are the little things that make the biggest difference in terms of relationship building. And every business is all about relationship building. So, if you ask, that's really the reason. How do I separate myself from other people? I care. I've always built relationships. I've always been the connector. I reach out when people least expect it, just to say hi, not, hey, sign this contract. I think when you become that person, when you make, and I call it making emotional deposits into the accounts of people that you want to do business with, you'll end up doing business with them. But if the only time you ever call is when you want something, you ain't going to get it. I mean, there's people that call me, and every time I see the phone, oh, I know what they want. They're going to pitch me their newest deal, and I don't answer. There's a red button and a green button. They get the red button. So you want to be a green button person, care more than other people.
So can I just pat myself on the back for 1 second, because it goes inside of your training? And that is, yesterday I posted a picture of myself in the bathtub with Richard Brooke and Kimmy Brooke on the screen. Richard Brooke posted that picture. And the reason I tell you that is because it's in line with a lot of Todd's training. Because for Tom Chenault, there is zero distance between thinking about you and hitting send. And that's what you have to do, because if we sit back and think about calling somebody while they're having dinner, they don't want to talk to me right now, they're going to say no. It's over, isn't it, Todd? It's got to be. I mean, there should be a little more distance than me, but not that much. I mean, it's got to be like that, doesn't it? No.
Yeah, people talk themselves out of making phone calls all the time, and oh, they won't do this. I wonder, no, they'll probably say no. They're probably too busy. You got to stop that internal language and just pick up the phone and engage somebody in conversation and do what came up in your mind at that time and just make it happen. It's not hard.
And I told your wife to read the Surrender Experiment also, which she'd already read, which is absolutely listening to your intuition, which is listening to God at all times. And don't second guess the thought. I don't second guess the thought. I happen to believe that everything like that is somewhat spiritually inspired. And most of the time when I'm calling people, it's not to bring them into my business. It's usually to try to be of service to another human being in one way or another, which ironically enough was the reason for the call to Brooke and his wife. But at the end of the day, I believe all of us have it inside of us to be unbelievably successful. All we need to do is have the desire, which I hope all of you have, and the tools, which you can get from Todd, and you're going to have it made in the shade. There's one thing left that's really, really important that you can feel with Todd, and he didn't speak it, but he is it. And, you know, passion's great, and all of us talk about being passionate. I don't think passion gets it in network marketing. Passion, you can sense my passion about contact mapping. You can sense my passion about network marketing, but I hate to tell you this, it's not passion, it's obsession. And you've got to be obsessed. So source whatever it is, get obsessed with it, and it's going to change the day completely. Right, Todd?
You use the perfect word, obsession. When you become completely obsessed with being as good as you possibly can, that's when your success is guaranteed.
Yeah, that's exactly right, you guys. So stop looking for it. It's already there. But you've got to bring it out of yourself. You've got to suspend. And we talked about contempt prior to investigation, and you actually gave me a great line that I should have spoken into the contact mapping app that you've got to say again, because stop using everybody else's opinions about Brussels sprouts. Try them. You're going to love them. And you said something else like that. What was that? Do you remember what you said earlier?
Yeah, of course I do. People are down on the things that they're not up on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. People are down on the things that they're not up on. We're going to leave you with that because that's what's been stopping you maybe since the day you got in the business. So instead of being down on the Fearless Network, the fearlessnetworker.com, get up on it. Go read up on it. We're going to see you all next week. It's been the Tom Chenault Show with the great Todd Falcone. I love this guy. Thanks for listening. I have no idea who our guest will be. We'll be back. And we're back. Todd, great job, man. You were unbelievable. Aren't you happy?
Wow, I've survived with Tom Chenault. I love it.
I didn't bust you on one thing, man.
I love you, man.
I can feel your heart. I can feel your soul, and everybody loves you. I don't ever run into anybody that doesn't love you, and I appreciate that about you, man. You're so good, people aren't even jealous of you.
Well,
that's because you're not arrogant, you know? People take shots at me all the time because I'm kind of a dick. You aren't. You are a great human being that people absolutely love your success. And I want to be like you when I grow up. I'm not lying.
brother, everybody loves you, and everybody loves that you're just that wild card guy that just, you know, Tom's going to do what he's going to do. That's one of the things I love most about you is you are authentically you and you never hide it. And you know what? Like, we have these most amazing, beautiful wives that, you know, wow, how do we do that? Both of us are a little bit crazy, and we scored some amazing women that, man.
And you honor
both did good.
Every minute. You honor that wife. You honor that marriage. You honor that God. You honor it every minute. Not when people are looking, but every minute. And it's going to turn out for you guys. I promise you that. So everybody have an unbelievable weekend. Thanks for listening. Todd, bye-bye. Love you.